Do you believe in time travel?
Donnie Darko, a mind-bending 2001 time travel film starring Jake Gyllenhaal and directed by Richard Kelly, follows the story of a depressed teenager who stumbles upon a temporal paradox and is tasked by unseen forces to undo its damage. It's very untraditional in its structure and is a very unique film to view, and even more so to review, so I'm going to try to do my best to make sense of this very elaborate film and give my thoughts on its meaning. Keep in mind that I'm working from the director's cut, because that's how we roll around here, and my interpretation is by no means the definitive one. We're painted a picture of a very disturbed 16-year-old Donnie Darko. As far as I can tell, he's been prescribed antidepressants, 50 milligrams of doxepin twice daily to be specific. The first 10 minutes of the film make it a point to establish this.
I didn't know it was such a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Although in the director's cut it's later revealed instead to be a placebo. I don't know what to make of that in specific, but I feel it worth mentioning that Donnie is clearly suffering from some emotional issues before the time travel begins, leaving us to question if what he's experiencing is real or just a mental breakdown manifesting itself. The paradox is formed when Donnie is woken and summoned out of his home by Frank, a 6-foot-tall bunny rabbit. Oh boy, this is going to be a fun review. Anyway, the giant evil-looking rabbit tells him that the world will end in a very specific 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, and 12 seconds. When Donnie returns home, he finds a jet engine had crashed through the roof into his room, but with no aircraft to account for its origin. When he comes across a book named The Philosophy of Time Travel written by a local crackpot, it strangely matches up with what he's experiencing. The book explains that time is pretty much linear, but occasionally something fucks up and a tangent universe is created. This is an alternate timeline that pops up for a little bit while the universe tries to straighten its shit out and then collapses, as opposed to forming an existence-ending black hole in the primary universe. The first sign that you're in one of these tangent universes is the appearance of some kind of metal object called an artifact that doesn't belong in that time frame. It could be anything, like a quarter printed from a future date, or in Donnie's case a mysterious jet engine landing on his room. The book then goes on to explain how human self-preservation in these situations innately pushes into paradigms to make the necessary corrections. It talks about the universe essentially using both living and dead humans to patch up the paradox through various means of subconscious manipulation. This is done by returning the artifact to the primary universe through use of a living receiver, in this case Donnie. In the film, this is played out as the various side characters subconsciously push Donnie toward his destiny and ultimate fate. The analog between time travel and suicide is pretty clear here, with the universe conspiring to show Donnie how much better off people would be without him. I don't know how many of you guys saw the Jimmy Stewart classic It's a Wonderful Life, but it's basically that in reverse, with a giant wormhole and a 6-foot-tall bunny rabbit. And Patrick Swayze? Man, this timeline just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Anyway, it took me a couple of watch-throughs to get this, but basically Donnie has to open a black hole to send a duplicate jet engine back to the primary universe with him there to receive it, ending his existence in both universes, but allowing the primary universe to continue without the existence-ending glitch. It's a pretty sad resolution, but for a film that revels in darkness and melancholy, it's fitting. The whole film grapples with heavy topics like depression, schizophrenia, and suicide while blurring the line between fantasy and reality. Surely you weren't expecting a happy ending. No matter how you interpret the specifics, it's definitely a noteworthy film when talking about time travel, giant bunnies, and Seth Rogen? Damn, this timeline's like Swiss cheese. So those are my thoughts on Donnie Darko. Do you agree or disagree with my interpretation? Let me know in the comments below. Once again, this is, was, and always will be Fadedragontear. Thanks for watching, and for 25,000 subscribers. Peace out.
Why are you wearing that stupid bunny suit?
Why are you wearing that stupid man suit?